Hi, I am Nao Murakami from Incubate Fund Asia.
So now, San, give me like a broad, like how did you become a venture capitalist? Just take me through that journey of becoming a VC.
Okay. It's a little long story, so I try to make it very short. But I used to be an investment banker at Nomura in Japan and also in the US, covering all the startups, especially tech and internet startups in Japan and in the US. And then
And you
I
grew up
spent like
in Japan, like you're from Tokyo.
I'm from near Tokyo, actually, Kamakura. I grew
Okay.
up in Japan, but I got the higher education, technical university education in the US, and I joined Nomura, right? And then I
Okay.
have been a banker for 7, 8 years there,
Hmm.
mainly covering startups. But somehow, when I was in New York
What?
working in
So
Nomura,
what does that mean? Like you were helping startups to raise funds?
yeah, raise funds and also doing the supporting the IPOs and all of these things.
Okay. Okay.
So technically, I
And
was
Japanese
covering all the
startups.
Japanese startup when I was in Japan, and then also
Hmm.
when I shifted to US, obviously US companies basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and while I was in US, I just got technically bored of the investment bank careers, and then also many things happened internally in Nomura also, and then I just decided to quit basically, right? And then the my initial plan was traveling around the world with my wife. By the way, at the time I was newly married, so okay, let's see what's going on in the world and let's decide something to do. But when just after I resigned from Nomura, the one of my best friend from my college in the US just called me. He's actually Japanese, but he is also a startup guy in Japan, and he just called me. He has so many clients all over Asia. So he was traveling around Asia, including India, almost every month. And he just called me like, something's going on in India, and then I feel India will be the next big thing. So he just feeling like I don't want to do this small business in Japan. I just shut the shop, move to India, starting something new. So he asked me, "Why don't you join?" And okay, it was a right timing. I just quit Nomura, and then I was just thinking to traveling around the world. So and it might be interesting to go to India and starting something new together. So I just joined his journey basically. So then I moved to India in 2014. Actually started the company together with him, based in Delhi. Ran the company for 2 years. It failed, but we learned a lot of things. And
What was
then
the product you were trying to build?
it's very similar to, let's say, Urban Company at the time, Urban Club,
Okay.
or
Okay.
the House Joy type of this service commerce, like connecting the
Yeah.
professionals to users over the internet, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
And as an expert, obviously, I was feeling personally the frustration, right, of the booking the plumbers, electricians, and this stuff in India. So, okay, it might be an interesting opportunity. And we started that, and we actually became profitable, and the also running good. But at the same time, like the Avant Club came into the market, Houseo came into the market. 2014, 2015, as you may know, like it's obviously one of the first wave of the startup bubble, let's say. So most of the
Mhm.
competitors raising
Right.
a big amount of money at the seed stage, using all the money for the marketing, discounting all of these things. So we already profitable, but running very small company, and then we start thinking, what should we do next? I mean, just run the SME or do the same thing, raise all the money. Fighting against the other competitors, or do something else, including shut the shop and go back to Japan. And I started thinking about all of these things, and then I went back to Japan for my friend's wedding. And then Incubate Fund, Japan's founding partner, Akaura-san, he just called me. And then he asked me to come to the one small izakaya type of setup in Tokyo. And then I didn't meet him before, actually, but he somehow found me, and he just called me, please come here. And then over the drink, we discussed only 45 minutes actually. But he just said, like, we decided to set up the fund in India. And then we are looking for someone to take care. So why don't you set up the fund together? And this Incubate Fund India, now it's called Incubate Fund Asia, story just started in 2016. Yeah, this is a very
Okay.
long story. Make it short. Yeah, this is how we started the
Okay.
venture
Okay.
capital fund. Yeah.
So, Incubate Fund is how old in Japan? What is the history of the fund?
Now it's 12 years old fund, and then the as a seed independent seed venture capital fund, we are the one of the oldest in Japan, and also the largest. Now we manage over 1.2 billion US dollars. It's as a seed fund, it's quite a big AUM, and
Hmm.
we run
Yeah.
6 funds already in Japan. So we are very prominent and well-known fund in Japan, but obviously at that time, no one knows about Incubate in Asia basically. So
Hmm.
yeah, we started. So our first fund is technically my GP commitment, and then their token money came in, and we started very small $3 million fund for India,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
then we tested the market and it went
Hmm.
well. So
Hmm.
we decided to raise the second fund, and we just closed the third fund also recently. So this is how we
Okay.
emerged in India. Yeah.
What was the size of Fund One, Fund Two, and Fund Three?
Fund one was about 3 million. It was a JPY
Okay.
fund, so it's obviously how the JPY depreciates its effect. But
Right.
it's about 3 million. And then the
Okay.
second fund is about 20. And the third fund
Hmm.
we recently closed, which is 30. And then the OUSD. And also last year we launched 200 million fintech growth stage focus fund together with SMBC, which is
Okay.
the one of the largest financial institutions in Japan.
Hmm.
So seed fund, sector agnostic seed fund, we have like 3 funds now currently active on the $30 million fund. And then
Hmm.
for the growth stage fintech, we together with SMBC, we are running the $200 million fund. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Japan does not have that vibrant startup ecosystem as, for example, US or India or even China, right? What is the reason
Uh,
for that?
yes and no. In terms of the numbers of the unicorns or the funding amount and all of these things, obviously Japan is much smaller than the markets as you mentioned, like the US, China, India, let's say. But at the same time, like there are good investor and then the startup community there. And then the good point is the Japanese IPO market is very much wide open for the early stage startups also. So almost every year, like the 50 to 100 of the startups are doing IPO in Japan, and even
Oh, wow.
$100 million valuation company can do IPO. So
Okay.
that's actually one of the reasons why the number of the unicorn is less in Japan, because the before becoming a unicorn, the company going public. So technically one of the reasons. So we cannot say like the Japan doesn't have a vibrant startup ecosystem, by the way.
Hmm.
But yes, I
Hmm.
mean in terms of the market size, funding amount, everything, obviously India, China, US is much larger. And the one of the fundamental reason I feel, I think there's 2 reasons. One is the Japanese market is very unique in nature compared to other markets, other global markets. And then this local market itself is sufficiently big enough, right? The still we are the I think fourth largest economy in the world, and then it's very unique market. That's why the foreign competitors are very difficult to crack the market. So it's sufficiently big market. It's technically guardrailed by the nature, so the no foreign companies are playing around. So homegrown startups can grow fast, and but they are not going global actually also. So in that sense, the small to medium sized successful startups, so many such startups are emerging from Japanese market, but they are technically only staying in Japan only. So they're kind of like difficult to expand globally. So it's in return the market is kind of limited and then small. This is the first reason I feel. And second reason is it's also related to this, but the as you also feel maybe, but the one is language barriers, right? The most of the Japanese startup founders cannot speak English. Now it's changing, but the still, let's say like maybe 70-80% of the founders cannot speak any English at all, and then it's very difficult to attract foreign money. One, and then also it's very difficult to expand globally also, right? So in the sense, like I think these 2 reasons are fundamentally kind of like blocking the Japanese startup to be very big actually. Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is Japan is such a unique market that success in Japan does not mean that you will get success outside Japan, because success in
Right.
Japan needs a
That's
different
yeah.
set of factors.
That's I think one thing. And then the let's say like if the founders are from Southeast Asian countries or even maybe South Korea, the mother market itself, the home market itself is technically small, right? So they cannot create the sufficiently big enough business there. But the Japanese economy itself is, it's not the biggest in the world, but the sufficiently big enough to make the startup to be, let's say, medium high size success to make.
Right.
So then the founders mindset, okay, why should we go to global from day one, right?
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, I think they
Interesting.
super much, yeah, they specialize into Japanese market, all the products, everything. Then once they
Mm,
realize, okay, we have to go to global, it's very difficult to change because everything is
mm.
accustomed into specifically designed to Japanese market. So yeah.
Right, right. Okay, okay. You've seen startups in Japan, US, and now India. How do
Yeah.
startups in India? What is like unique about Indian startups as compared to say US or
Uh,
Japan?
yeah. Maybe like I'm deeper in Japanese market than Indian market, so maybe I'm going to compare between Japan and India, and then it's in my point of view, it's very much opposite. Let's say like the Indian founders or the startups are very good at the dreaming big, making a very bold move, the creating a big growth, and then it's obvious, right? The market is very big, and then the 1.4 billion population, so it's very good on the growth, and then also dreaming big, and then the picturing big things. Uh, on the other hand, like Japanese founders and the startups, even the VC ecosystem is very much keen to make the company to be profitable and sustainable from even from day one. This is also in return of that the IPO market is very wide open for the early stage startups. So the once the company becoming profitable, the IPO's door will be open. So why not, right? So the it means the we are very how can I say the bottom line driven approach we take. So okay, this company when they can be profitable, and then also we tweaking into the very details of the marketing budget, everything. So we are very detailing out in terms of all the numbers, especially for the cost side. And then
Mm,
India side, even sometimes I feel like this part is sometimes weak, but at the same time, okay, let's grow this much, expand into 10 cities, and then all of these things. This dreaming big type of the parties in India is very good. And then I hope the Japanese founders also have such a very big growth mindset also. So I mean, pros and
mm,
cons, but we are Japan origin investor investing in India. So I think we can
mm.
mix this two perspective in, and then the making the company to be successful basically.
Your LPs who are putting the money into the fund are basically
Yeah.
Japanese family offices, or like
The first two funds, 90% of LPs are actually from Japan, and then mostly
okay,
corporates, actually. Corporates plus some family
okay.
offices. Yeah. So corporates who want to do something in India, who want to
Mm,
collaborate with Indian startups and these guys, and then some family offices who have an interest in Indian market. But the recently closed third fund, we invited more international LPs. So now we have LPs from the Singapore, from South Korea, and other regions, and the both
mm.
corporates, financial institutions, and also family offices. So now we are trying to diversify our LP base, and I feel the in the future, the majority of the LP base is not from Japan, and then we will attract more global money into our funds. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, what does a Japanese LP look for? Now, like you said, that the Japanese mindset is profitability first, which in Indian startups is not there. So, what are they looking for when they put money for investing in Indian startups?
Right. The as I mentioned, like the let's say majority of our LPs for our fund one, fund two were the corporates, right? The Japanese corporates, like large corporates from Japan. So what they are looking for is the let's say something going on in India, and then the economy is growing. So they want to penetrate the Indian market somehow, but by themselves it's very difficult, and then investing in indirectly through our fund into Indian startups, and then they want to first of all they want to get access the information and what's going on in India from the
Okay.
startup viewpoints is one, and then secondly, if some interesting opportunities there, they want to collaborate with them to make the business together. So these two perspectives have been very strong from our LPs. So actually, like for Fund One, Fund Two portfolios, I think 40% ish of the portfolios actually received the subsequent funding from our LPs actually. So this is a very strong
Okay.
interest from the LP side. And then actually some companies actually started the business together also. So this interest is very strong. And the family office is obviously the India is growing, economy is growing, so we want to make money from India, right? So
Hmm.
I mean, basically these two perspectives. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Who are some of the corporate LPs who are like who further
Mm,
done business with?
we yeah, actually we didn't get the permission from them to disclose, but the let's say
Ah. Okay.
some
No problem.
trading, yeah, some trading companies,
Okay.
and then these obviously some financial institutions,
Hmm.
and the also couple of gaming company, and the also the HR among the recruitment type of the agencies type of the companies.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, got it. Okay, so tell me about the journey of investing in India. What was the first bet that you took, and how has that bet turned out? And what are some highlights of interesting companies that you have backed?
Yeah. So it was. I mean, first of all, like the my journey in India have been very fun, and then I have been enjoying a lot, and then and then I made a lot of friends in ecosystem and also outside of ecosystem in India. So I have been enjoying a lot in investing in India. Then the first bet from our fund in India it was actually ShopKirana, which they do the B2B commerce, B2B supply chain for Kiranas basically. So they're dealing with the
Hmm.
FMCG products and some food also. And we wrote the first BC check in them, and then since then they got the funding from InfoEdge, Oma India, Six Sense, and the others, and then they have been growing well. So yeah, I mean, it was a good journey with them, and then the our fast bet is doing well, so it's actually a good sign for us to be doubling down in India. So it was a good
Hmm.
success scenario case. And then actually the before we investing in ShopKirana, the I couldn't pass any deal for 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, at the IC, like I think I brought maybe 30, 40 deals into the
Hmm.
ICs, but we couldn't pass the deal at the IC. And then the reason is the IC members select the fast investment in any regions or any new funds will be very important because many people will judge from there. So their
Yes.
bar for the fast investments is very, very high. So I was feeling like, okay, 6 months I couldn't pass any deals at IC. So am I a good
Hmm.
investor or not? But I mean, in the end, they're okay with investing in ShopKirana, and then they're doing well. So yeah, I mean, the journey was so far it's good.
Hmm.
And the other than ShopKirana, like the some prominent investments or portfolios we have in India includes Captain Fresh, which is the B2B supply chain again in seafood space. Also
Hmm.
Yulu, EB two-wheeler sharing company, and
Right.
Plum, which is the insurance group insurance brokerage companies, and then the many more actually emerging from our portfolios. So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean so
And
far
all
we
of
are
these
doing
have
good.
done well, right? Plum, Captain
Yeah,
Fresh,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
all
Captain
success
Fresh, yeah,
stories.
I mean the Captain Fresh is. I mean, doing phenomenally well. I think they're reaching to 600 million plus revenue, and then the reaching profitability
Wow,
also
amazing.
within 4.5 years or so from the inception, right? So it's
Hmm.
doing phenomenally well. Even Yuru, you can see their two wheelers
Yes.
everywhere in Bangalore, Mumbai, right? So they
Hmm.
also, I think, number one EV two wheeler sharing company in India now. All of them we wrote the first VC check. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of proud of it. Yeah.
Hmm. How do you do deal sourcing? How do you find these opportunities? And especially when you don't have a network in India, and you're like someone
Hmm.
who's grown up in India will have a network and
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
be easier for them. So how did you manage it?
yeah. When we started in India in 2016 until maybe 2019, 2020 timelines, technically I was alone. So even no associates, no partners, I'm alone in India and then doing everything, right? So first, my initial approach is as you mentioned, like I have no network. I knew no one in the market. So first 6 months actually, I well, actually, first 1 year, the I have been meeting with technically everyone who contacted me, and also I was like the trying to meet as many people in the industry as possible, including founders, investors, even lawyers, accountants, anyone in the ecosystem, right? So, and then I just actually calculated how many people I met in first 1 year time horizon, and then actually more than 2,500 people I met in person
Oh
in
wow,
India.
wow, wow,
And then
amazing.
that 1 year, like I even like some cases I received a pitch deck from founders, and then the if I read it, skim through it, and I felt okay, maybe this company would not do well, but I was meeting with them because I want to have some the sense of the quality of the founders, what's defined the good founders and average founders, also like the valuation expectation in India. All of these things is different from Japan or US, right? So I wanted to make sense in my mind about the how India is moving from the founder quality to valuation, way of thinking about the valuations, to the each BCs or capitalist how they're thinking. So I try to meet no screening. Whoever I contacted or
Hmm.
whoever contacted me, I was trying to meet everyone in person. And then afterwards, like the after like meeting 2,000 plus people, like the I know someone in the industries, right? And then gradually some people started helping me, and then oh, some random crazy Japanese is doing something crazy in India, and then the okay, I'm happy to support you, and then these 2 3 people start connecting me with the right person in the
Hmm.
industry, and then again this person will introduce me to someone else, and then my network suddenly becoming very strong. So first 4 years or so, I was just sourcing from my own network, or obviously
Hmm.
using some traction and other database also to reach out to the founders, obviously. But
Hmm.
this is how I have been doing, and I'm also still keep doing this also. But
Hmm.
after 2020, when Rajiv Ranka, who is the now the partner of our fund based in Mumbai,
Okay.
he joined,
Okay.
and he brought his own network. Like he's IIT Mumbai graduate and have been in industry for a few years even at the time. Now 10 years plus of the experience in this industry. So he has a lot of connection to the investors, founders, and these communities. So he brought his own network, and then now we are
Hmm.
using both of my network and his network. And also now we have a
Okay.
two associates under Rajiv, so they are just going out to the events everywhere almost every day and then try
Hmm.
to source out. So yeah, this is how we do. But the initial phase I was alone.
Okay.
So yeah, I was
Okay.
just randomly meeting people and then sourcing. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. What is the investment thesis for the fund? Like,
Yeah.
what kind of? Yeah.
Yeah. So the very fundamental or most important policy we have is the we invest at the pre-seed or seed stage as the first VC of the startup, and then the seed round we lead the round. So this is the very basic principle. So lead first VC round lead position investment is the always our thesis. Obviously some exceptions, but the let's say 80% plus of the our investment is always leading the seed round. And then we are sector agnostic in nature. So technically anything we can invest if we like. But obviously it's
Hmm.
some bio company and these I cannot understand what's going on. And then maybe we cannot explain it to ISIS, obviously we cannot. But anything we can understand and anything we like, we can invest. But currently we are focusing on the some sectors. We have been doing good in B2B supply chain, India domestic or cross border. So like Captain Fresh, ShopKirana, and then couple of more also coming in. So we're still bullish about the supply chain companies in India. So we are keep looking at these supply chain B2B supply chain companies. And then also recently D2C brands, we also now focusing in.
Like plum.
And the like yeah, but the Pram is different Pram actually. The
Ah,
my
sorry. Yeah, yeah. I
our
mixed
for
up. Yeah,
Pram is
that
a
your
yeah
plum.
insurance company. But yeah,
Yeah.
but that
Yes.
Pram,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
recently invested in a couple of D2C company from our new fund. And
Okay.
the yeah, and also fintech, obviously the still we feel there's so many opportunity around the fintechs, and then especially we have that growth stage fintech focus fund together with SMBC, so we can support from that budget also if the company doing well also, right? So some synergies between there. So fintech also. And then we haven't been focusing on any deep tech, space tech, type of companies before, but from this new fund, we finally start investing in these deep tech, space tech type of companies. So this will be a new theme. And then another one is a green tech. So all the EVs or the carbon neutral related and all of these things. Technically, it's a lot
Energy.
actually, but these 4 5 sectors we are currently focusing on.
Okay, okay. The SBMC FinTech Fund, the
Yeah,
growth fund, what is the thesis there?
it's anything fintech in Asia,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
technically it's a corporate venture capital fund. So it's a 200 million fund. The only single LP. So SMBC is a single LP, and then we are the GP of the fund. So we have to have some collaboration angle with the SMBC as a global banking group, or their um, franchisee operations in each regions in Asia, including India. In India, they own the SMICC, which is the one of the prominent the NBFC in India. So
Okay.
if we can invest in the fintech from that fund, is there
Hmm.
any collaboration opportunity with the SMBC or SMICC in India, or any other countries franchises in Asia? So some
Hmm.
collaboration opportunity will be a must to have actually. It doesn't have to be collaboration from tomorrow. It can be like future potential collaboration after 2 3 years. It's fine, but this
Hmm.
no collaboration, no investment basically. So, but
Hmm.
other than that, it's no boundaries. So we can invest
Hmm.
any fintech from lending to payment to banking tech to anything. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. You know what have been wrong bets that you have taken, where you thought that this would be a good investment, but your thesis was wrong, and you learned something from that. Like I'm just trying to take out those learnings,
Yeah.
and you don't have to
I
give
mean the
specific names, but
yeah, of course, of course.
hmm,
The one of the learnings the I personally have been taken from my journey for like last 7 8 years of the investment in India is the in India the especially for the seed fund the founder quality is everything. I mean this. I mean, by the way, everybody tell this, of course,
yeah,
even in
yes, yes,
Japan
yes,
or any
yes,
small companies also everybody say like, oh, seed investment founders everything. That's true, but especially this is especially important in India, even compared to Japan, right? The reason is the India obviously a large market, more entrepreneurs, and it means like if there's a good opportunities, the maybe 10 other companies or founders are doing the very similar things in the market, right? And then the unfortunately, in our point of view, if the Series A funding doesn't happen, led by the top tier funds, let's say, the success ratio will be suddenly going very low, right? So that means the Series A funding led by the top tier funds should be secured. And then is this founders or founding team can be good enough to reach there? It's fundamentally most important thing. But I mean, I didn't understand this point actually initial phase of our investment, right? Let's say in Japan, if there's a good opportunities, and even obviously bad founders cannot do anything, but the let's say above average founders starting something in the good market, if it's a good business model, maybe they will get one or two competitors only, and then they can just go in for the mid-size IPO, right? In the few years time horizon. So more business model driven, market driven approach we have been taking, and then it works. But in India, obviously this is also important, light market, light business model and this stuff. But the more than that, the founding team should be super top notch, and then these business models and the market is coming next. So this is the biggest learning I have, like in Japan it's opposite actually, but in India, if the founding group is very strong enough or the founder is strong enough, the business model can change in the future. Like Yulu, right? When we invested there's no EV concept in Yulu. They are doing the bicycle sharing, and then after six seven
yes, I
months they
remember.
changed completely into, yeah, they completely changed it into the EV. So, but founders are strong enough to realize that the things, and then they changed, they pivoted the business model. Right? Even Captain Fresh, the when we invested in zero I cannot say zero vision, but almost zero vision about the global expansion. They, when we invested in, they're very much domestic company. They are trying to build the seafood supply chain in India only, but now 90% of the revenues are coming from outside of
Oh
India.
wow.
So
Okay.
they took the ball bet to go global, right? So,
Mm,
but founders are strong enough. They realize the situations and opportunities, and business model will change, right? But
mm,
this founder quality, we cannot replace the CEO at the Series A, right? So we cannot do that. So this quality of the founder should be outstanding. This is
mm,
very very important in the large market like India. Was the
mm,
biggest learning I have.
mm,
Yeah, and then couple of bets, we felt like the market is correct and the business model was correct, but the founder was, I cannot say the strong enough. And then the competitor got the, let's say, Series A funding much earlier than them, and then they struggled to raise, and then unfortunately they shut down or they needed to be acquired by somebody else. These things happen. Yeah, but this
mm.
is, so that's why now we are the our internally the most important factors for us to decide the investment is actually the quality of the founders now. Yeah.
Uh, what's a like? Do you have a checklist quality of founder, like say education, pedigree, or what?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do you judge? Yeah, can you help me
Yeah, there are
understand?
a lot of checkpoints. Actually, it's a lot of checkpoints. The founders pedigree also like the which college they got educated, and then the what kind of grades they have, and all of these things also we check. And then also the educational, I mean the working experience also, especially with the B2B companies. The he should have or she should have the very strong working experience in the relevant field, and then the also the some execution experience we want is so someone who build the business, ideally having a P&L responsibilities and building some business even under the large corporations. So he or she knows how to build a business also, right? So all of these things we check, and also found reference from the BC ecosystems or the other founders or their ex-employees, and all of these things we check. And then in detailing out there maybe like 20, 30 checkpoints, but yeah, I mean mainly we will check all of these points, yeah, and then decide. And
Okay,
then the
okay.
also all the IC members plus even including our associates should say yes, this is the outstanding founders, otherwise we will not bring it to the IC.
Mm, okay. The IC sits in Japan.
I see. Currently, we shifted the fund into Singapore, so I see sitting in
Okay.
Singapore.
Okay. 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 And so, what is so for you, what is your growth path uh, in this? Like, how does a VC grow?
Mm.
Like, do you grow as like you manage bigger and bigger fund sizes, or what is your growth path going to look like?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was very fast, 7 8 years. But I feel like I haven't grown for sure. Now I have the much deeper understanding about the Indian market, and then the also now we have a team. The like 7 years back I was alone and doing everything by myself, but now we have the team, right? The Rajiv and then two associates. Even we have a cooperative team also in India, in Bangalore, right? So this feels, this makes me very happy. The now we have a team and the team is expanding, and then also it makes me changing my role a little bit also. The used to be I'm doing everything from sourcing to execution to buy up all the portfolios to everything, right? But the to fundraise also of the our own fund itself. But now we have a team, so on ground work, like especially with the sourcing and then the of the deals, the we can let the our on ground team under Rajiv, maybe 70 80% of this workload we can, because I'm working with Rajiv for more than a few years now, so I trust him, and I want him to lead the in the future. I want him to lead the entire Indian operations of the fund. So in that sense, like now I feel like my role is a little bit shifting for building the strong team, and then also focusing more on the fundraise of the our own fund to make it bigger, and then also the entire fund strategy for next 10 to 20 years, what kind of fund we should do, and then which region we should invest, and then shall we do the growth fund also, sector agnostic growth fund also or not, and all of this the strategy for as an Incubate Fund Asia where we go. So now I feel like the I'm upgraded also, and then team also upgraded, and then we are now in the very pivotal moment for the future of our operations in India plus Southeast Asia, where we go. But we are it's also equally excited, right? So it's a good exciting moment for us. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Uh, what do you think you know, in terms of exits for investors, how do you think that will work in India? Because that has been one complaint
Yeah,
for foreign
from
investors who
many
invest in
LPs. Yeah,
startups in India, that the
yeah,
exits are not there. So,
yeah.
how do you see that getting solved, or what do you think the trend is going to be there?
Right. So when we started in 2016, the obviously that was the most common asked question from our potential LPs also, right? The how are you going to exit, right? The no exit market in India. And but now you can see, right, the how many startups are doing IPOs, and then after like 2021, after Zomato's IPO, now so many good companies, good startups are doing the IPO. So the now we can think about the IPO as the potential exit channels even in India local market, right? So this is a big change compared to the 2016 to now, right? So it means like we can make the good growing profitable company. If we can make the we can think about IPOs. So this is a big change. So now we can tell the Indian IPO stories to the LPs, and also we can even like among our portfolios, couple of companies start thinking seriously about the IPO of the company, right? So this is a big change, and then this is a very encouraging change also. And obviously, like the always M&A opportunities are there, like the from the global companies or the Indian local also. So, but this happens occasionally, right? So we cannot plan it from day one. So, but if there's a good opportunity for the M&A coming in, we will consider. And we are very early stage investor at the pre-seed to seed stage. We typically invest valuation somewhere between 5 million to 10 million, right? So it's very early stage investment we make. For
And what
us,
is the check
even
size? Typical check size?
typically 500K to 1 million. We're trying to take
Okay.
10% plus of the stake of the company, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and the for us, the even like the Series B, Series C stage, if the secondary options are coming in, if we can sell that, still we can make maybe 5 to 10x of the return if the valuation is less than 100 million plus, right? So we always thinking about the secondary exit to the other VCs or PE funds also, and also even small acquisition, let's say, which would not be covered by media, maybe type like maybe 20 to 30 million small acquisition by the someone, still we can at least recover our principal money, or the maybe we can still make 2x 3x of the return, cash return also. So we have done like 7 exit already in India, and all of them actually cash acquisition by the local and then global companies, and then no acquisition deals we lost money, actually we recovered all the cash. So
Amazing.
1x or yeah, or like the small returns we making. So in the sense like we're always keen to invest at the low valuations. It means even the we have a multiple exit venues. If the successful one or two companies from each fund, we will aim for the IPO, and then we can make 100 times 100x returns. Then some of them will be acquired in the middle, and then even the earlier stage secondary or M&A, we can still make some returns. So we just mixing up all of these things and try to make the portfolio entire portfolio to be very profitable
Okay.
for us.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Uh, does the So when you say you want to have a balanced portfolio, does that influence your choice of companies to invest in? Like you would not invest in a company because it doesn't match with the portfolio, or it is just
You
fundamentally
mean
company alone? Like
yeah, company alone always.
okay,
But I mean, we don't think about okay, this company may be making only 2x return for us, and we don't invest, right? We always looking for the any company to be 100x return making. It means the at least unicorn potential. So 100
right.
million plus revenue within few years time horizon, this company can make it or not. Is always the we are thinking. So yeah, I mean, it's completely each company's alone. We are thinking.
Mm. Okay, okay, interesting. So let me end with this. What's your advice to founders who are building in India, and especially from the lens of Japan and how they should think about Japan and incubate
Okay.
both?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the India now is one of the most brightest moment for Indian founders. I think the Indian economy is growing, and then this stable, and then also all the global investors also looking at the India, right? So it's the right time to start something new if you have something interesting. So I'm very happy to hear any ideas to us. So please start up, and then they work together. Here's the message from us. And then the now from the Japanese investors perspective, right, the even as a Japanese fund, we are always raising funds from Japan. The like first couple of years of the operation for us, it was very difficult to convince Japanese corporates or investors to think about Indian stories, right? Oh, India is a very difficult market, very far away from Japan. All of these excuse are coming to us. But the last 6 months to 10 months, the suddenly this situation changed. So like every single day, all the major medias in Japan is talking about the Indian economies, Indian startups, all of these things, and then the number of the contacts reaching out to me from the Japanese medias and this is also suddenly increased. So now many corporates, many investors are looking at Indian startups for investment and collaboration both. So I think now it's the right time for you guys to contact the Japanese companies or investors. And then if you need our help, we are happy to support. So anytime, please contact me or our team.
Mm. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for your time now, son.
Thank you so much.